what was the place that it took birth in? It was Italy. Okay, it was. Why is it called the place of birth of Renaissance? Right. So we will discuss about it. So the gleam of Renaissance first spread in Italy, and from there its light diffused in Germany, England, France, and other European countries. Okay, so why there? And it was quite natural that the rebirth of European art and literature occurred in country where the vestige of significant ancient achievements were still gleaming faintly, and where the ancient tradition of acquiring knowledge was still alive. Right. There was a competition for the rise of new cities, and there were many people who patronized art and literature. The ancient Italian relics had inspired a critical outlook among the scholars since the day of Petrarch. So, yeah, there are several causes that led Italy to become the place of birth of Renaissance. Like here I have shown you rich and prosperous. The country was rich and prosperous, right? So the development of social class, they had been different from that in other European countries. The prestigious section of Italian aristocracy, old descendant families, and newly rich business classes assembled in cities and established for the first time in Europe in consolidated community. Virtually, the atmosphere of liberal and free thinking was conductive to sow the seed of Renaissance, right? So what happened that it was a very rich and prosperous country, which where the business class people were there. Okay, and they started making community, and they started they developed that liberal and free thinking inside people. Okay, so the second cause was that Italy was very rich country, and its source of richness was overseas trade. Okay, that I just said about the Crusades and stuff. The Arab traders of Middle Ages sold in Italy all their goods which they bought from Asian countries. From Italy, the Asian goods were sent to European countries. In addition to it, the traders came from North Europe, went to the West Asia through Italy. Thus, Italy became a famous commercial center. The increasing trade and prosperity in Italy afforded soil ground for fruition of Renaissance, which also was because of these three. First was like cities and bourgeois class, then patronage. Okay, so I'll be telling you about it. So see what happened. First, it was like a rich country. Second, that it became a commercial center because all the trading thing started happening there, and because of commercial activities, some cities like Milan, Naples, Florence, and Venice they were established. The Italian businessmen they frequently visited Balkan Peninsula, West Asia, Byzantine, and Egypt. Arabian and Iranian businessmen they often visited above mentioned cities, and besides the soldiers returned from the crusades, and you know what happened, they before heading towards other places, they that place came in between, you can say. So they first rested there, can say they went there for some days, and then they marched towards, okay, their destiny, whatever. So they related the details of Muslim cities and Muslim civilization to Italian citizens. It enlarged their outlook, and cities provided a backdrop for Renaissance. For they had museums, public libraries, theaters, which are organs of cultural life. So because of the where would these stuff get spread? Okay, through these things, right? Through the community, through these public places. Okay, and then second was that the bourgeois, the business or the middle class, you can say, they emerged out of Italian prosperity, and the Italian business class it became so influential that it did not care for the feudal lords and the poor. This class they violated most of the medieval conventions and strengthened the spirit of Renaissance in Italy. Okay, so these points you will be seeing again and again, which were to giving birth to Renaissance. Okay, the third thing was that these rich and prosperous people business. What happened that on the strength of business and industry, Italy became very rich and prosperous, which I have mentioned like more than once, and. In Europe, the businessmen like King, they made up their mind to patronize the artistic and literary person in order to make good use of their supply money. Okay, surplus money. Sorry. surplus money. A rich businessman of Florence Cassimo Medici and his grandson Florenzo Cassimo utilized their money in collecting 10,000 books and getting them translated. Men of letters, writers, and artists good opportunity to produce good works bearing the imprint of their unrestrained spirit. Under the patronage of Italian businessmen, Florence alone patronized maximum number of artists, writers, and poets. They included Dante, Petrarch, Boccaccio, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, Lorenzo Gilberti, Niccolo Machiavelli, and others. Okay, we will be talking about them too. Okay, so don't worry. And then we saw about how rich and prosperous Italy became, and how it became a hub or a hub of commercial center. And then second, it was the birthplace of ancient Roman civilization. Okay, it was also one of the reason. Many monuments of ancient Roman civilization in Italian cities reminded people of the grandeur of Italy. Okay, how status it means that the status of being impressive, you can say. Okay, so people were obsessed with the thoughts of enhancing the prestige of the country as they were aware of the splendor of Rome. Okay, it is apparent that the Roman culture turned out to be the center of inspiration of Renaissance. The first sign of inspiration was seen in the Dante's literary work. Okay, then fourth reason was the popes. Okay, so what happened? Some of the popes they dwelled in Rome. Okay, so what happened that the and it was Rome was the center of entire West European Christianity. Okay, so moved by the spirit of Renaissance, some of the Pope they brought great scholars to Rome and got Greek manuscripts translated into Latin. Now Pope Nicholas V opened Vatican Library and built Saint Peter's Cathedral. St. Peter's Cathedral. Entire Rome was built under his guidance. Pope's work affected other parts of world too. Okay, so one of the reason was Pope, and the fifth reason was the growth of business in Italy. It necessitated the trend in education, which laid emphasis on vocational and geographical knowledge. Education was spontaneous and based on science and logic, right? So when they started patronizing art, education, literature, so what happened that they started, I already said you that the outlook changed. They started applying science, right? And the sixth reason was that it was the capture of Constantinople, which led many Greek scholars, artists, and businessmen to take shelter in Italy. Okay, so they went from there to and there from Constantinople, they all migrated to Italy. Okay, many of them migrated to Italy. It's not like all of them migrated to Italy, and many invaluable manuscripts of ancient Greek literature. They contain deep knowledge of which Europeans were quite ignorant. Many fugitive scholars were appointed teachers in Italian schools and universities. They learned this learned class became the precursor of awakening. Okay, so we discussed about what is Renaissance, what were the causes, why Italy was the place of birth of Renaissance. So yeah, that's it. So we are not including all these sections in the same video because it will make the video very long. That's why. Okay, let's meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Don't forget to put the mask on when you move out and stay safe. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe my channel and share the video as much as possible because guys, I make a lot of effort making for to make these videos. Please do support my channel by sharing it as much as possible. Hit the thumbs up, like my video, and do share it, and don't forget to hit the bell icon.